Lebogang, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us this evening. Now, before I come to you for your reaction, for your views on the chemical castration, maybe let's start with your views on the gang rape of these 8 women, 32 counts in the rape of 8 women.
Always good evening and thanks for having us. It is always sad to hear about one that South Africa is the rape capital of the world. We are currently sitting on a statistic that, yes, can you hear me?
Yes, you
Hello?
can. Please continue. Yes, we can. Thank you.
Hello?
Continue.
Okay, sorry about that. I was saying thank you for having us. I think that situations like this just confirm what Interpol has said, that they have dubbed us the rape capital of the world. A woman is raped every 25 seconds in South Africa. So these narratives, unfortunately, are being spoken about more, but it is the norm in South Africa, and it is something actually going to work. And I think that's what we're trying to talk about tonight.
Now let's talk about this chemical castration, and I think it also comes as the women of the country just seemingly feeling hopeless at government and the law authorities' efforts at curbing this scourge. How effective would chemical castration be?
I think what you said is exactly it. It comes from a place of fear. It comes from a place of frustration. It comes from just women feeling helpless. We don't know where we're safe anymore. Unfortunately, there are pros and cons. The one thing about chemical castration is the fact that it's something that's taken orally. It's a pill that's taken orally to eliminate or reduce the libido, to reduce desire. And that bans from the fact that people think that rape has to do with sexual desire. And most times, rape is a power thing. It has nothing to do with sexual desire, or we wouldn't have so many babies and children being raped. We wouldn't have elderly women being raped. So yes, I understand that this is something that's being proposed out of frustration, but I feel that there's stuff that is deeper rooted in it, and we're still thinking of curative measures instead of preventative measures. I feel we should be looking at it from a preventative measure. We need to start looking at the psychological aspect of things. We need to start looking at the dynamics, the gender inequalities that is taking to men reaching out and raping. And one of the women said before, it's not just men who are raping. Yes, it's both men and women. And I also need to highlight the fact that a lot of people are saying, what will happen to the people who are falsely accused? I need to highlight the fact that in all cases, it's only 2% who are false accusations. So they are the 98% of women who are frustrated, who are crying out for help. And that's where this idea of chemical castration or some form of punishment, some form of punishment for perpetrators is now coming out. Now,
Lebogang, before I let you go very briefly, such an incident, gruesome as it is, and you mentioning that Interpol has dubbed us the rape capital of the world, it can only invoke and intensify the fears that women live with on a daily basis, but also now having to transfer that to the women in your life, knowing that it could happen at any time, but also the girl child in your life. What insights or advice can you give the women and men?
I think the biggest thing that FWI is trying to fight towards is raising responsible men. We are trying to change the narrative and not put the responsibility on the girl or the girl child to keep herself safe, but we want to work on the toxic masculinity that is leading towards gender-based violence, that is leading towards rape. And that's why I was saying that we need to look at the underlying roots. We need to start working with both men and women at very young ages and teaching them that no is no and no needs to be respected. We need a better understanding of rape in itself, because this idea that a man has the right over a woman or has the right to have sex with their girlfriend, with their wife, with anyone, those are things that need to be changed. So I feel the interventions that need to come in now have to be in changing the way we think, changing the narrative, and making sure that each person is responsible for their acts and not expecting a woman to make sure that they don't look desirable or too sexy or not provocative enough. Those are the type of interventions that we need to start going for.
Lebogang, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much. That was Lebogang Motau, founder and CEO of Free World Initiative.